Imagine riding around in your automobile, being followed by a cop for quite a while.
I swear I didn't do it, officer.
And then he pulls you over, and you think, man, what did I do? So you jump out of the car, and you stand there. The cop says something else happens. Stick around. Anything seen or heard in this video falls under the Fair Use Act. Welcome back to Wolfman Rants. 411, or just Wolfman, or I don't know, whatever you want to call me. Welcome back. It's 2021, and here's another video for you. So, let's screw the intro. Let's get right to it. Who wants to listen to that shit anyway?
A man who could have been sent to prison for years based on claims in a police report was saved by a home surveillance camera.
Seems like more and more nowadays, home surveillance cameras are saving a lot of people. Don't forget to get yours.
Footage showed he did not attack an officer as claimed in the report. I2 investigator Adam Walser spoke to the Lake Wales man and hears from local leaders who say it's not the first time they've heard complaints about heavy-handed policing in their small town.
It seems to be a thing. It's more ongoing, more and more every day that police officers are starting to say, we're getting attacked by these people. And a lot of people believe it. I don't know, get yourself a security camera.
I stopped at a stop sign right here on 3rd Street, and I noticed the officer behind me way before I even stopped.
Chris Cordero was driving to Publix February 8th to pick up medicine for his young son when Lake Wales police officer Colt Black pulled him over. Unbeknownst to the officer, a camera across the street captured it all.
I get out the vehicle to ask him what's going on because, he's been following me for a while.
Cordero stands by his car for more than 20 seconds, but Officer Black's report says Cordero immediately exited the driver door and began to charge towards my patrol vehicle.
Did you just watch what you saw? It didn't look like he got out and charged anybody. I mean, look, let's go back a second and take a look at this. He gets out of the car, and he stands there. Did he charge anybody? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's just standing there. I mean, count the seconds going by. What are we at now? 5, 10, just on the camera there? Let's continue watching what he has to say.
Clenched fist.
That's absolutely not true.
Officer Black approaches Cordero 30 seconds later.
He sucker.
Filed in the court that you came at him with clenched fist. Black's report says Cordero immediately exited the driver door and began to charge towards my patrol vehicle.
Says right here in this report this officer filed in the court that you came at him with clenched fists.
That's absolutely not true.
Officer Black approaches Cordero 30 seconds later.
He sucker punched me from the back, right here. Cracked a piece of my tooth out. I landed on the ground.
Moments later, Officer Travis Worley arrives.
Oh, great. Now we got more officers arriving. All right, so dude has been followed for a while now, as he says. And you don't normally get, I've been followed a while, unless you've made a couple turns and you've been going down the road. A lot of people, almost everybody who's been driving has been followed by police officers. And what would you consider if the cop was behind you? What would make your brain just say, I was being followed for a while? I mean, I'm going to think maybe a mile. I mean, if you're in the city like this, I've turned some corners. You're clearly at that point knowing that cop is behind you and he's following you. If you've made a few corners heading to your house, let's say you have 6 corners to turn, and he's already went through 4 of those, and you got 2 left. He's following you. He could have went the other way, but he didn't. He's following the guy. So now the guy's on alert already. And he's thinking, you haven't pulled me over yet. You've had ample time to pull me over. And you're just now pulling me over. So he did what he's not supposed to do, which is get out of the vehicle. He's supposed to stay in your vehicle. However, he did get out. And he didn't charge the officer like he said he did. He got out and stood there. So already, Deputy, whatever his name is, thinking that, okay, I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know. Deputy pulled up there, though, and he was, defensive or something. I don't know. I'm not really sure what's going on yet. Let's continue watching.
Hard to see exactly what happens next, but you can make out a struggle behind the car.
They both jumped on me and beat me up really bad.
In the report, Officer Black said,
all right. From what you've seen of the video so far, of him getting out of the car and standing there, hearing that the officer said in his report that he came up to the officer with clenched fists. The camera's right there. You can watch it. You're clearly able to see that he didn't just get out of the car and run up to him. The officer initiated it with a side blow to the head, and now the other officer's up there seeing the first officer struggle, and then joins in to beat this guy up, all for a traffic stop. Let's keep going.
As he delivered an elbow strike to the left side of Cordero's head because he thought he was reaching for a weapon. In the complaint,
All due respect, if he was reaching for a weapon, he would have did it as soon as he got out of the car or before the other officer showed up. He would have took care of the situation, but he didn't. It seems like he's still on the straight and narrow. It's the officer, it's a little out there.
Cordero filed he said Worley used a racist slur.
I've never heard that terminology in my life.
Cordero
All right, I question that because I'm in my 40s, and that dude looks like he's, in his 30s maybe? And I've heard just about every racial slur there is. So that I question. However, let's keep watching.
was charged with resisting arrest, assault on a law enforcement officer, and making a death threat to a law enforcement officer. When he bonded out of jail the next day, he went door to door in the neighborhood until he found the footage. After Cordero shared the footage with police, Officer Black wrote in another report, "I believe my perception was altered due to the high stress of the incident."
All right, due to the high stress of the incident. You're an officer, you deal with all these pulling overs all the time. That's your job. And you pull a guy over who gets out and stand next to his vehicle. So you get out, and then you say that he jumped you to make it look good for you. And now you're saying, due to the high stress, due to my natural part of my job, I must have overreacted, or I must have wrote it down wrong in the report or something. Come on. It's your job to be under high stress. You're a police officer. To falsely report something, I mean, if a general person falsifies federal documents, that's a federal offense. You're stating that a civilian, while you're a deputy, did something he didn't do, which generally holds a higher standard in court, to where they're going to believe that officer over somebody else, especially if he's got a past of whatever, for whatever reason. And you're going to hurt this guy. This happens a lot, way more than people realize, is that police officers or government officials or judges will end up screwing somebody over bad, a lot of times for years and years, over not taking the truth into account, or disregarding the innocent until proven guilty theory. And if it wasn't for this camera right here on that guy's house, this guy would still be in a world of crap. Let's continue.
When I told Mr. Cordero that I believed him, he broke down in tears.
Attorney Sarah Jones provided the video to the state's attorney's office, which immediately dropped the charges.
You think?
Jones says she's heard multiple complaints from clients about Lake Wales police officers using heavy-handed tactics.
All right, heavy-handed tactics for a police officer. Okay, this is 2020 at the time that this was happening. Police were having if not already, months into having issues with being heavy-handed everywhere. And it takes one bad apple to make 10 others look bad. I mean, if you really think about pretty much anything in life, if you go to the grocery store and the clerk is super nice to you, you're not really going to think much of it. Especially if you don't really complain a lot and you're generally good or find good people. You're going to not really think too much about the good that you had done. But if you go through the checkout line and that girl is doing everything but cursing at you, or the guy or whoever it is doing everything but cursing at you, you're going to tell 10 people, it may be a week span, but you're going to tell a bunch of people about how you were treated wrong. And those 10 people are going to go to 9 people, and those 9 people are going to go to 8 people. Eventually you end up with almost 100 people over the one incident. But when you go through the checkout and you have that one super awesome person, you might tell one person. The general thought doesn't really cross people's minds unless they're done wrong.
These officers who have issues with power and control target people who they know won't be believed.
Do you feel like that the leadership at that police department
realize that there are potentially some bad apples on the force.
If I'm to answer you honestly, yes. They know. How can they not? When I stood at the city commission podium, when I stood and I talked to them and said, I'll tell you, I'll show you, come talk to me. I'll let you know who they are and what they're doing, and I'll help you build the cases against them.
We requested an interview with the police chief, but he declined, citing an ongoing internal investigation. In an emailed statement,
Regardless of the internal investigation, he could have commented something. So the chief, I feel, already knows there's issues, and we're going to get to this just here in just a couple minutes, of some of the issues that this officer and the other assisting officer had regarding their jobs. It's coming up next. Let's just watch.
The department confirmed that Colt Black resigned effective February 10th and that Travis Worley had been placed on administrative station duty.
So now, this dude, the first dude, resigned. He knows he done wrong. He knows he shouldn't even be there. All right, high stress of the job. Okay, maybe dude needs to get put on some pills or something now because life's just too difficult. This other dude is put on administrative leave. Wait until you see what he got here for the other dude. I don't think it was enough. Hold on.
The I team has uncovered both officers have been previously investigated. 2 complaints against Black were investigated and closed without any action taken because the investigator found he did not violate policy. Black was disciplined in 2018 for an unauthorized vehicle pursuit.
All right, I don't know what the unauthorized vehicle pursuit was, but if I was a cop, especially back in the olden days, sure, I might race around with some friends. I'm just kidding. It's not allowed, right?
Worley, named Officer of the Year in 2019 and past president of the Lake Wales Police Officers Association, has been the subject of 4 citizen complaints.
All right, so this dude had some complaints in 2019. Looks like 3 of them. And 2020. Keep in mind, this happened in 2020. So what you're seeing is you don't see any 2021s or even late 2020s because of this issue. So there's some internal investigation, some complaints. He's also the president of the Police Association or something like that. How does this dude get in a position like this? And yet, such a bad apple. All right, they need to clean these places out. So let's keep going.
And 2 internal investigations, including 2 allegations he used racial slurs. The president of the Police Benevolent Association said Worley was cleared in both instances. In this,
of course, you're going to get cleared if you know people. I mean, if you did it, you did it. But to look good because you're the president of something or an officer that's been there a while, they're going to try to clear you. They want their name to be good. Am I wrong? Put that down in the comments below if you think I'm wrong. I feel they're going to try covering things up. It sounds like they're covering lots of stuff up now. I think I need more coffee.
Complaint, the Lake Wales High School principal emailed the police chief about Worley, alleging he used a racial slur in front of students, saying, quite simply, he is not the same caliber as the other officers I know are. Now,
all right, so he used slurs or racial slurs in front of students. Way to teach the young kids, Mr. Officer.
not even close. The complaint was investigated by the deputy chief, but no wrongdoing was substantiated. Worley was also the subject of an internal investigation after an African-American female officer accused him of using a racial slur.
Again? Another one? Is this shocking? Click the thumbs up if you think it's shocking. Well, even click it if you don't, because I don't think you're going to think it's shocking.
While on a call, the report says investigators were unable to prove if a racial slur was used by Officer Worley.
They record their phone calls. Every police department records their phone calls because something juicy could come in and you have to have it recorded. Really? You couldn't prove it? What happened?
But investigators found evidence Worley used multiple profane words while in a heated argument. He was suspended for 8 hours without pay in 2020.
All right, 8 hours without pay in 2020. That's huge. A whole day, right? 8 hours, 12-hour shift, 10 hours. Maybe it's a 10-hour shift, so you lost 8 hours pay. Maybe. I don't know. I'm sure if I'd done this stuff, I'd lose a lot more than 8 hours pay. What do you think?
Worley defended himself, writing, "More than ample opportunities were given for someone to provide evidence of me being racist, with negative results."
There's, let's see. You're going up against a police officer who clearly has had issues in the past, neighbors talk, that bad cashier is a thing. And so you're going to end up talking. What are you going to do to this officer? Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's ever happened. Lots of stuff has happened before and no results. Or, you're afraid that you're going to end up having a bad, bad mark over your head to where that's not going to work out so well for you the next time you're driving around town. Or another officer is going to jump onto you having you marked. So I'm proud of anybody who comes forward.
City Commissioner Terry Howell says she was troubled by what happened at Cordero and by recent complaints from others.
All police are not trying to intimidate people.
I like this lady. Not all police are trying to intimidate people. That is a proven fact. There's a lot of nice officers out there. The town that I live in has some nice officers. You tell the truth, you be good, and try to do good things, and good things are going to happen. Not all of them are trying to be bad. Some of them are, I don't know, they were the bullies in school, and now they think they can bully people, and it's not cool. Those ones need to be taken care of.
That's not the case. But when you have one or two bad apples, and then they're spilling that bad apple part to other officers, then that bunch start growing.
Howell made a proposal for police body cameras more than a year ago.
Body cameras, great idea. Doesn't most police officers have them now? Apparently not. So what they're talking about right now is they made a deal to try to get these body cameras put on people. This troubled police department went against that. They didn't want them. They didn't want the body cameras. Put down in the comments down below, why do you think they didn't want them? I think I know. They want to keep bullying.
But it failed to gain traction. But just days after Cordero's arrest, a body cam program was on the commission agenda again.
A home video was able to capture something that occurred. I do believe that the cams are needed.
We've got police that's supposed to protect and serve. They are actually the ones that are doing the harm.
People have been scared to speak about it.
Putting lives before money, that's what I'm thinking about right now.
The program passed by a unanimous vote.
Finally they're doing something about it. I mean, it was brought up a long time prior that they needed to get body cameras, but they didn't want to. I mean, if you think this cop would have had a body cam on, do you think any of this might have happened? It might not have been so brutal. I mean, the dude got beat down by 2 officers for being pulled over.
Making Lake Wales the first city in Polk County to adopt body cams. Chris Cordero wishes it happened sooner.
How many more innocent people are sitting in jail? How many people in the community are scared to come forward about these offices?
I'm IT.
And just so you know, this isn't the Polk County that's in Florida. I've tried getting a hold of this department, and I believe this was the one in Georgia. Come to find out, there is 7 Polk counties in the U.S. I think it was. I don't know. The person at the police department I did get a hold of was super nice and super helpful. And to the Polk County down there, the one in Florida I think is the one that we see the YouTube videos on where the sheriff gets on and says, "Don't mess with our city, our county. Our county, we're gonna deal with you if you come down here and give us crap." That's the one that I talked to, and they were super sweet, and I'm super supportive of that. They're doing their job. They have a job to do, and they're working on it. They're getting it done, and they're not being aggressive to people who doesn't need it. So kudos to the Polk County in Florida, not so much to this particular county. Don't forget, we have merch somewhere. So what do you think about that? What do you think about it? Dude gets out of the car, stands there, says he's being charged on, fist raring to go, got both fists ready to duke at the cop. I didn't see any fists, but really what it boils down to is there is a lot of bad apples out there in the police department. There's a lot of bad apples out there everywhere. You can go to the store, and I don't like it when I go into the store and I'm standing in line and the clerk's trying to be nice to a person who's being an asshat. It's like somebody floated down Douche Canoe Alley all the way down to the store, and they're trying to smear their crap all over the counter. Stop being rude to people. It's pretty damn simple. Like, be nice. Just because the world shit on you doesn't mean that you have to go out and shit on everybody else. Be good. Be nice. Is that hard? For some people it is. What can you do though? Think of a world, this is like John Lennon time, right? Think of a world where everybody tried to do good and nobody was doing things wrong, or I can't even really say wrong. There's always somebody doing something wrong. But imagine if crime came down and people did their best to help one another, and I mean, we wouldn't have a need for police officers, especially in the overabundance of them in some areas, if theft was down. If people would stop trying to go in and take other people's things, or if people stop the mindset of, well, I can steal from this company because they have insurance and insurance will cover it, so I get my free things, they get their things replaced. Don't think that way. These people worked hard for their businesses. I mean, except the major ones, and we won't talk about them. Well, initially, anyways. So, stop trying to do so much bad. Stop stabbing people. Stop killing people. Cops, stop being jerks. Be nice. Once you take that badge off, I mean, these are the kind of guys I bet you that are like getting pulled over by somebody and flashing their badge going, hey, I'm officer so-and-so. And, oh, okay, well, I won't give you a ticket, because it's the officer code. You have the other officers. I have enforcement officers in my family, and they get pulled over, they don't flash their badge. They don't try getting out of it. They know they did wrong. They deal with it. So stop trying to do bad. Do some good. Help somebody. Go out today and just do something super nice for somebody. Buy a cup of coffee for somebody. I did that this morning. I was standing in line, and I bought the lady's coffee that was behind. Do something good. It helps. If you get enough people doing something good, maybe it can start turning somebody's life around. That's important. And if this video has helped even one person, it was worth it. If not, I'll try again next time. So, till then, this is Wolfman with Wolfman Rants. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and join the Wolfpack family. Every time you click like, it helps the channel grow, and that is important. The bigger this channel gets, the more our donations can get larger and larger for our end of the year Christmas fund. And right now, I think I don't even know what we're up to. This is, April now? We're in April, and I think we're over $500 or something like that already for the Christmas fund at the end of the year. So please hit that like. Thank you for watching this video. Every minute counts to make somebody's life a little happier. Till next time, this is Wolfman with Wolfman Rants. Peace. So what'd you guys think of that? Let me make myself bigger. I like to be bigger. Bigger. Oh, that's too big. Let's do that. I don't want to be too big. Too big's bad.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.